After 2 months of football, just 4 teams remain as Verizon Fios One Sports welcomes you to Schuert Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University for the Nassau Conference 2 semifinals. This one features unbeaten #1 Garden City against the 6th seed from Calhoun. Here's how we got to today. These Colts, the highest seed remaining, thanks to an overtime win over Mepham in round 1. Garden City cruising as they did through the regular season to set up this matchup here today. Greetings from Field. That's Scott Green. I'm Andrew Bogish, ready for this one as always. Scott, the Trojans on a county record 33-game winning streak. How does Calhoun become the team that finally cools them off?
Well, this Calhoun team is playing with a lot of confidence right now. They feel like they can win this game today. They took Garden City 14-7, only trailing in that first meeting, and eventually went on to a big defeat. But they feel they can play with them. They have the big three in Torini, De Jesus, and Casamano. Those three are amassing over 275 yards rushing on the ground. Don't look for Calhoun to throw the ball much today, but they're playing against the elite Garden City. Very tough to beat.
Nick Torini is the quarterback. As Scott just said, he's not going to throw it a lot today. He's going to run it, he's going to hand it off, and he's got to do both of them well to win.
Well, yeah, Nick Torini, he is really having a terrific season. He's been a difference maker for the Colt offense. Coach Mueller loves his ability to call the audible at the line. He plays with a high level of football IQ. For a quarterback, he's only thrown the ball 43 times all season, but he makes up with his fast, swifty power running. That gave him 10 touchdowns and close to 900 yards on the ground this season.
A lot of talented young men have worn the Garden City uniform, though maybe nobody as talented and as productive as Trevor Yeboah Cody.
Well, you talk to a lot of high school football experts, and they're going to say he may be the best to ever put on a Trojan uniform. He is a game changer. He has elite speed, a lot of power. With the amazing supporting cast, he still put up over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns on the ground. And if you're a Calhoun, you got to be careful. If you're punting today, do not allow it to get into his hands. He's ran 2 back this season.
It is a picture-perfect November day. It's the Nassau 2 semifinals. Garden City and Calhoun next on Verizon Fios One Sports. Welcome back to Schuert Stadium here at Hofstra next to Scott Green. I'm Andrew Bogish. It is Garden City and Calhoun playing for a spot in the county final. For the Colts, it would be their first ever appearance in the county final, but to get there, they'll have to give Garden City its first loss since the end of the 2015 season. There's the Colts head coach, Brian Moeller. Last year, they won the first postseason game in school history. Now he's got them back in the semifinals once again. As you can see, coach in his 5th year, started with the program way back in 2004. Dave Ettinger in his 4th season in charge, the 2016 Nassau Coach of the Year. He knows this field well. He's Hofstra's all-time leading scorer, Scott. And now it's time for your Verizon Fios One Sports keys to the game.
Well, when you're Calhoun and you're playing a team that's on a 33-game winning streak, you know you have a very limited margin for error, so you have to play physical for the full time of this game. You have to avoid that crushing play. Garden City can come at you so many different ways. They can hit you through the air. They can beat you on the run. They're so physical on the offensive line. You got to avoid those big plays. For Garden City, you have to win the turnover battle. Garden City's not afraid to take chances, but you want to make sure you turn over Calhoun on several occasions and keep your offense on the field.
The captains at midfield for the opening coin toss on an absolutely gorgeous day. Could not ask for better conditions, not much wind, nice crisp November day. Bob Miller is the referee, and it looks like Calhoun has made the decision. We'll see now who wins this coin toss, and even this is important, Scott, for Calhoun because they so badly just want to get off to a good start here. You don't want to play from behind. Garden City's checking what they should do here after the coin toss, but they want to start here well and just let Garden City know that they're in this for the full 48 minutes.
You know, Calhoun's record doesn't indicate how well they play. I've watched them play on 3 different occasions this year. This is a team that could come out and they can get you right from the beginning.
And now we can get this one rolling here at Hofstra. These two met just a couple of weeks ago. Garden City winning 38-7, but as Scott mentioned at the top of the broadcast, that one tight at the beginning, and then away the Trojans went, which is a pattern that we saw a couple of times through their season this year. Just a little bit hanging around, and then just too much over 4 full quarters. Chase Gardy kicking off. Matt Marziliano, the return for Calhoun, and he is down shy of his own 25-yard line. And now we get a look, the first look today, at this Calhoun offense, which averages just over 23 points per game. That's Nick Torini, their senior quarterback, nearly 900 rushing yards, 10 scores on the ground for him.
First and 10.
A returning starter, gaining more and more trust, playing a more and more mature game for his head coach, Brian Mueller, and the rest of this Colts offense, which you'll meet here in just a second. Garden City in its traditional 5-2-4 base defense, 5 down linemen. Tom Casamano is in motion, and he's get the handoff and the carry at least, and a couple as he gets strung out wide and then brought down. Casamano, who is their leading rusher, Scott, over 900 yards this year, 7 touchdowns, a little banged up, didn't play much in their first round win over Mepham. That offensive line, Jack Anabali in the middle, a 2-year starter. He's the captain up front. Then Casamano, and then Errol DeJesus, who's great at that role, even better linebacker on the other end. When they throw it, which is not often, Matt Marziliano is the favorite target of Nick Torini. 2nd and 8 for Calhoun. DeJesus is with Torini in the backfield as Garden City gets set defensively. DeJesus gets his first touch, turns the corner, and fights his way out near the 35-yard line for a Colts first down.
Well, one of the things you're going to see today is when you defend Calhoun, they have so many runners that can get to the outside to get that quick first down. We watched them play against Elmont a couple weeks ago, and they covered 70% of time of possession and didn't win the game. So that just goes to show they can crank up the clock, they can move the chains, but their thing is they just got to put the ball in the end zone and then play some defense.
There are 3 games that they point to. That's one of them. MacArthur and Mepham are the 2 others in the regular season, games that they could have won, should have won, and didn't. Torini still has it, looking for some space, and there is none. There is a flag as he goes down. Liam Griffith among the Trojans in on the stop.
Flag is down.
It looks like Nick Torini was shaken up a little bit on the play, and that's one of the players you need on that field and healthy, because he's that third back. And we'll take a look. It looked like it was almost a broken play. Nobody came through for the handoff, and
yeah, it looked like Casamano went the wrong way. Whether he's going to give it to him or not, you never know, but he was on the wrong side of the QB to take the handoff. The hold backs him up to a 2nd and 20. DeJesus straight ahead. Yanked down by Angelo Demiris, number 78, one of the 5 starting defensive linemen for this Garden City defense, which allows just over 6 points per game. Multiple shutouts this year. Steven Moscatello had a pick 6 in their first round win over Valley Stream Central. Griffith and Kephart, the 2 linebackers, and then Trevor Yaboa-Cody, really good running back, almost as good in the secondary.
He's just an all-around player. You have to always find a spot for him on the field.
He'll creep up a lot towards the line of scrimmage, especially against a running team, as Casamano bounces to the outside, picking up speed down the far sideline. Casamano finally down inside the 5.
A big burst by number 33, Thomas Casamano.
We talked about the big 3 in Torini, DeJesus, and Casamano. These 3 are combining for over 275 yards rushing in a game. Casamano has the ability, the breakout speed. He hits the pile and then takes off down the sideline. He had 919 yards on the season. This is a huge play for Calhoun, and this is what they need to take advantage of and try to capitalize here.
It's 68 yards. Ryan Bice chased him down and got the shove that kept Casamano out of the end zone, but it's 1st and goal for Calhoun at the 2-yard line. Casamano was done. There were 5 Trojans near him. Bounced off, kept going. Now DeJesus has nowhere to go straight ahead. Tried to stay on his feet, but finally down he goes.
55, Christian Sullivan.
One of the things you're going to see here with Calhoun is they don't throw the football very often. They usually put a cap. Maybe you'll see them throw the ball 4 or 5 times over the course of the game, and that becomes a detriment to you because now they're able to stack the box. You don't have to worry about someone playing deep on you. You know, you're forced to run the football.
Torini under center, a wide receiver to either side. Quick snap to Jesus again, looking for the goal line, but he's not there again. Garden City 2 for 2, keeping him out of the end zone.
Once again, that's a nice job. We talked about physicality early on, a lot of hard hitting. Garden City's so tough up the middle. You know, this becomes a very big play for Calhoun. You don't want to walk away here, you know, and settle for 3 points. This is where you have the opportunity inside that 5 to be able to put something on the board now.
Steve Fennell, the Garden City lacrosse coach on the staff here, just saw him a second ago for Garden City. He's in charge of the defense. He's on the field barking out commands. Casamano spinning and finishes off the drive with the touchdown. 68 yards to set it up, and then he punches it in, and Calhoun gets exactly what they wanted.
You know, this is what I call a statement drive. When you're 5-4, 4-4 in the conference, coming in and playing an undefeated team, you come out on the first drive and score a touchdown. This is a statement drive for Calhoun.
Jonathan Irachi comes out for the point after. Good snap, hold is there. Kick is through, and Calhoun in just less than 4 minutes, 7 plays, 78 yards into the end zone. The first points of this semifinal to the 6th seed on Verizon Fios One Sports. We are back here at Hofstra, a quick 7-0 lead for Calhoun. A 68-yard run by Tom Casamano, getting him inside the Garden City 5. And then 3 plays later, Casamano puts it in himself from 2 yards out. And now Irachi kicks off. Ryan Bice takes it on a bounce, guiding his way across the 35-yard line, and finally down he goes. Followed his blockers well. And a good return from Bice as we go back to Calhoun's drive. Scott really couldn't ask for a better start. They don't want to play from behind. They want to send a message. And here they are leading 7-0 almost instantaneously.
Well, Casamano's been terrific. I mean, you look at what he's done. He pretty much carried the whole yard there with the big gain and then the 2-yard run. You know, and he's just one of those 3. And the Jesus once again too. I mean, this is just a great start for the Colts. And then defensively, this is where they've been strong all year long. They're only yielding 14 points per game. So this is a team that can really get after it.
There's Colin Hart, 3rd-year starting quarterback. For the 2nd year, though, he is the exclusive starter. As a sophomore, he did a 50-50 job share. Look at the numbers. 75% completion, 11 touchdowns, just 1 interception for the senior. His offense averages almost 38 points per game. Yaboa Cody almost dropped the pitch, turns the corner. Great blocking, avoids the fumble in the backfield, and ends up with a big chunk of change on 1st down.
And this is one of the things that Garden City has always done for so many years. He almost lost control of it too. Is the back always follows the lead blockers, and there's always 2 blockers out in front of him. Just an outstanding job, and I've always, for so many years, admired the play calling of Garden City.
Jake Marine, senior linebacker, made the tackle downfield for Calhoun, but immediately inside the Colt 40 goes Garden City, and now Yaboa Cody takes the shotgun snap. He's going to keep it himself straight ahead. The stutter step and fighting for extra yards. He's down to the 30-yard line.
You know, he is so tough. He's strong. He's got the speed. And one of the things Coach Dave Ettinger was telling us is about his eye vision. His vision, he can see the holes. He's quick. He's got agility. This is what makes him so special. The only way to stop him is to try to stand him up at the line. And when a kid like that is running with so much force, you got to take him down quick.
3 touchdowns for him last week in a 35-14 win over Valley Stream Central. 44 and 75 yards on punt returns and a 79-yard touchdown run. It's a different ball carrier here for Garden City. Justin Coppola gets that one. And they keep moving deeper into Calhoun territory. The rest of this talented Garden City offense looks like this. 3 juniors along that offensive line. Coppola is their leading receiver with 14 catches and 4 touchdowns. Got that carry a second ago. Setting up this 1st and 10, and they're now at the Calhoun 25-yard line, moving quickly right back down the field after giving up the opening touchdown. Hart still has it, rolling right, and a man wide open. Down the field, it's Bacafola! Touchdown! He was open almost immediately, Scott. Hart finally found him and put the throw on the money.
And that's Bacafola's first touchdown of the year, and what a great job by Colin Hart. He rolls out, trying to give himself enough time, throws it off his back foot, and that's how strong Colin Hart is. And he plays with a lot of efficiency, 54-72 on the season.
Less than 2 minutes to go right down the field, get in the end zone, and pending the PAT, get even. Chase Gardy doesn't miss often, didn't miss there, and we're 7-all in a hurry here, Scott. Impressive. A couple of runs. They go to the air for the first time, and Bacafola gets behind the defense, and Hart does the rest.
Well, you know, Colin Hart always gets these opportunities to throw the ball downfield because the box is loaded up, because everyone's playing for Trevor Yaboa-Cody to run the football. So his runs sets up that throw for Colin Hart.
Colin Hart settling back in after his 12th touchdown pass of the season. And now Chase Gardy will kick it off, and Calhoun will go back on the attack. It's Marziliano, right hash. Pitching it, Jake Marine finally smothered shy of the 25-yard line. A little trickery. Didn't pay off too much, though.
You know, when you're the big underdog coming into a game, hey, why not? Give everything an opportunity. Give them something that maybe they haven't seen throughout the course of the year. One thing about Garden City, Dave Edinger, and it goes back to Coach Flatley, is that they always know how to scout teams. So coming into every game, it's always about preparation for Garden City.
You know, and I asked Brian Moeller about this during the week. Do you have to do something different against a team like this, on a run like this? And he said, yeah, that's your first thought, you know, to do something a little different, give them something they haven't seen before. The problem is they're so well coached, they're so disciplined, they don't fall for stuff, and they didn't fall for that. Everyone stayed in their lane, and Marine was tackled almost, was pretty quickly after the pitch.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you know, but what I like about Calhoun now is they're grinding it out. They're getting 8, 9, 10 yards on a pop, and right now, number 33, Thomas Casamano, is feeling really good with the football, and he's getting those open holes.
For a young man that tried but couldn't be much of a factor last week against Mepham, certainly seems to be as close to full strength as possible. Got 9 yards on that carry, puts his head down here for a couple, which will be good enough for a first down.
You know, Calhoun coming in here on the offensive side, one of their goals coming in today should be win the first down yardage mark. Who can get more first downs, and it looks like Casamano banged up a little bit.
Reaching for his lower back. I don't think that was the issue that compromised him a week ago, as he tries to loosen something up.
When he comes through, he just,
Might have gotten twisted on the way down to the turf there. He got his team a first down. Man in motion is Casamano, and another good run on first down keeps the Colts on schedule.
Hey, one way to not let an injury tighten up is just give him the ball on the next play. And he's just running exceptionally well this game so far.
Contact for the Trojans.
Working his way back to the huddle. Casamano's only 6 foot, 165. So doesn't have the heft, you'd think, to take a beating, but they just give him the football, and for the most part, he's survived the year. He's out wide in this formation, bottom of your screen. They keep it on the ground. It's to Jesus. A huge game for him last week, 122 yards. Yet to find too much space here today. He doesn't get the first down, 3rd and 1 coming for Calhoun.
Ariel to say to Jesus, and you talk about, they always say weight training is always what helps a team and helps a player get stronger. I mean, here's a kid who weighed 140 pounds a year ago. He's up to 185 now of muscle. So you talk about putting on some muscle, getting yourself in good shape, and that proves dividends on Saturdays.
He actually did get the first down. Didn't look live, Scott, like he did, but they moved the chains.
What a first quarter for Casamano. I know there are a couple of real big runs in there, but he's been there steady.
68 yards, the big one on their opening drive. More heavy contact. And then he's getting pushed back. Justin Coppola was the second Trojan to thump Casamano there.
24.
He's got an even 100 as he gets 5 on that carry. How about this first quarter? But I wonder here if the officials are making him come off.
Well, Casamano knows, when you're a senior, you kind of leave everything on the line, knowing that it's survive in advance mode. You know, that next game you lose, you go home and your high school career is over, and every one of these seniors think about that. So sometimes the little pain and the little injury maybe you might have, the adrenaline kind of takes over.
At least for one play, Dylan Radke, number 3, is going to replace Casamano after Bob Miller, the referee, brought him to Brian Moeller on the far sideline. 2nd and 5 for Calhoun. This is Radke. Good penetration again by Garden City. So here's the last play after Casamano carries, clearly banged up. That's the umpire first, and then the referee bringing him off the field to give him a break. And then watch, if we keep letting it run, watch what Brian Moeller does here. He wants Casamano to stay here and be part of this conversation. That's good coaching, making sure he stays there and shows the referee respect in that conversation, but they certainly want him back on the field as soon as possible. 3rd and 4, just shy of midfield here for Calhoun. Again, a team that does not throw the ball often, maybe only 5 or 6 times per game, doesn't do it here, and isn't going to get the first down. De Jesus needed the 47, he got only the 49, it looks like. Christian Sullivan, on the tackle, Scott.
And that's going to put him 2 yards short. Now becomes a decision when you go ahead and punt. Now you beware. You got a guy like Trevor Yaboa Cody, who's probably one of the best punt returners in Nassau County.
No, they're not going to need him here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 2, just across midfield. It's a full 2 yards. Casamano comes back in. Now, always the pooch punt is an option here in the high school game, but Torini's getting under center. Garden City ready to go. Look at all those Trojans near the line of scrimmage. And now they let the flag fly.
Well, if that's against Calhoun, then I think you're definitely going to see the punting team coming on. No flag.
They're picking up the flag, Bob Miller is. It was a timeout first, so they went up there maybe to see if they could get Garden City to jump. The Trojans didn't. And with the clock stopped, 90 seconds left in this first quarter, we'll see what Brian Moeller decides to do now. The Colts are 5-4. They can score it. Gave up a few too many points that they would like. A lot of tight games, and I said a few moments ago, there are 3 games in particular that really bothered them. A 1-point loss to MacArthur when they gave up a 55-yard touchdown pass to lose with 2:08 to play. They lost a 14-7 game that could have went either way against Mepham. And then the Elmont game that you referenced gave up 2 kind of fluky touchdowns. I think one was a block punt, one was a fumble return touchdown to lose that one. So they really think that they're an 8-win team, not a 5-win team, and they want to show that here today.
Yeah, when they played Elmont, the majority of those touchdowns on Elmont scored were off of turnovers. And, this is, like I said, they controlled the clock, they moved the chains, they won the first down. I mean, every possible category you could possibly get, they had except the one loss. And this is a team that's very dangerous, as we talked about it in the open. And this is a team that's playing with a lot of confidence right now. A big win last week against Mepham. They feel that they can play with Garden City and try to stick around as long as they can.
They're going to punt now. Michael Daly, number 9, will kick it. Yaboa Cody is back with Coppola. to return it. They kick it away from Yeboah Cody, and Coppola misses it, and Calhoun's got it at the 30-yard line. He waved for the fair catch, ran up, and I think got too close to it, Scott, and it caromed off his chest, and the Colts get the first turnover of the game.
Well, that's a big break there, for Calhoun. Now these are the opportunities that you have to take advantage of, and he just came on too quick and right off the shoulder pads. Good job on the recovery team. Calhoun got down there, was able to make the recovery.
Right through his hands, and a perfect bounce to the Colt coming downfield. Eric Porfido made the recovery. How about that tackle by Bice? Chasing Casamano near side and bring him down.
And this is one of those times where I always think, you get a team on their heels, you recover a fumble. Now's the time you get up to the line of scrimmage and you get them while they're flat-footed and throw a pass. This is a team that's not a passing team, so everyone's anticipating that run.
Final minute, opening quarter, 2nd and 14. The scoreboard here at Hofstra says 2nd and 47 at the moment, which would be a doozy for the Colts. But 2nd and 14 is certainly official. Casamano tries the other side, and down he goes again behind the line of scrimmage. Dan Bocafola makes the tackle. He caught the touchdown pass, and the flag presumably is on Calhoun here again. Bob Miller yelling the options to Dave Ettinger. It's either 3rd down from where he's standing, or it's 2nd down again, minus the 10 yards for the hold.
This Garden City defense is so disciplined. When Bocafola staying home at the defensive end position, what happens a lot of times, you have guys that want to over-pursue and try to get into the backfield. He stayed home and takes away the edge, and takes him for a loss.
And they declined the penalty, so instead of it being 2nd and even farther back, they'd go 3rd and 9 and put Calhoun closer to a decision for 4th down. Clock restarts as they come to the line of scrimmage. It is 3rd and 16 from the Trojan 36, working off the fumbled punt. Here comes Casamano in motion. Tarini keeps it, his first throw of the game. Going deep into traffic, almost caught on the deflection. Daly had it come to him, couldn't pull it down with Yeboah Cody there on defense.
And right there is when he should have been throwing the football. He had him beat, and then now it becomes underthrown, and wow, how about that?
Yeboah Cody almost with that pick, and then almost the remarkable bounce to Calhoun, but Daly just not enough with the reflexes. So now it's 4th down. This is not in most kickers' range. So the Colts will go for it. Garden City thought somebody moved. The flag comes in as Tarini punches it inside the 10. Out of bounds it goes. But first, we see what the flag is. Bob Miller's crew busy all of a sudden.
If anyone knows quite sure what the play goes.
It's a false start, which means the play never happened. So you just got to back him up 5 yards and go here. I don't think there should be a decision on this because the play is dead immediately on a false start. Reading lips, you saw that. Dead ball, false start, 5 yards, replay 4th down, and now the full punting unit can come on for Calhoun. Daly, who almost caught that pass off the deflection, is the punter. And again, it's Yeboah Cody and Coppola back deep. They switch sides of the field for this return. Yeboah Cody brought 2 of these back last week against Valley Stream Central. They played very few offensive snaps last week because of the 2 punt return touchdowns from him. Plus, he had a 79-yard touchdown run. So they got off the field quickly on that drive as well. And now Bob Miller's coming to the sideline and over the sideline and wondering if there's a way for him, I think, to talk to us up here. The clock must not be right.
Yeah, that appears to be what the mess. Yeah, and they're changing the clock.
It goes back up to 19 seconds. It was at 10.7. This first quarter was chugging, but this drive has been like molasses, just sludging along here. We can finally play again with Daly ready to punt. Has protection, puts this one towards Yeboah Cody. A couple of bounces and a good roll, and finally touched dead by the Colts. So Garden City survives the one muffed punt, and now their offense gets its second chance, and the first one was pretty good, Scott.
And I'll tell you, both times, special teams, you could tell that they prepared this week and maybe put a number 24 back there and says, hey, this is who we do not want it to go to. So good job by special teams on Calhoun.
4 plays, 62 yards in just 100 seconds on Garden City's first offensive possession, ending with the Bocafola touchdown pass. Here's the Calhoun defense. It's a talented one. James Toman along that defensive line. He has 12 tackles for loss. Ariel DeJesus has 46 of those. He's one of the best linebackers you are going to see. And then Matt Marzoliano, interception in the end zone early last week, helping Calhoun's cause as Yeboah Cody breaks free across the 30, then the 40. One man to catch him, high stepping into the clear. Here comes Pagano. Yeboah Cody keeps going. Touchdown, Garden City. 86 yards.
Well, it did not take long for Garden City to really get Yeboah Cody going. This is how elusive, how quick he is in the open field. Great cutting action. This is a pure athlete, folks.
Guardy's 2 for 2 on extra points, and Garden City leads 14-7 after an eventful opening 12 minutes. Calhoun scored first. Garden City scores 2 in a row as Yeboah Cody outraces everybody and the corner to take the lead on Verizon Fios One Sports. The Garden City side can smile as the second quarter begins here at Hofstra. This is a Nassau Conference 2 semifinal. I'm Andrew Bogish, Scott Green, our entire Verizon Fios One Sports crew here with you atop Stewart Stadium. Calhoun, the 6th seed, the highest seed remaining in this Final Four, got down the field into the end zone on their opening possession, but their defense, and now a fumble on the kickoff. It's picked up with Marzoliano looking for some room now. But a really good start for this Calhoun offense, but a really bad start for the Calhoun defense, Scott.
This Calhoun offense showing they can move the football. They're gaining some positive yards. They're moving the chains, but defensively, they really haven't had an answer. And you look at some big runs from Yeboah Cody, and then a nice pass from Colin Hart to Bocafola. So I mean, there's some key plays. When you mix up the pass and the run, you have the ability to keep the defense off balance. And this is one of the things when you're a one-dimensional team like Calhoun, who runs the football. They always just say when you get to Hofstra, the teams that run the football the best are the ones that win. But a day like today, it's not your typical November. I mean, you're looking in the high 50s. It's nice weather.
Did you notice the limp from Nick Torini, the Calhoun quarterback, coming out for the huddle here? Now we've got a Calhoun timeout. It'll be their second of the opening half. Torini and Casamano, their 2 most important offensive players, hobbled at different times in this game, which is certainly the last thing they want against this Garden City team. It has been a long time since somebody beat the Trojans. In fact, it was the end of the 2015 season in this stadium. Juan Taw did it. Since then, 12-0, 12-0, and now 9-0. 33-game winning streak. The 3rd longest, at least in terms of unbeaten streaks, in Nassau County, but it is the longest winning streak, beating that mark of Bethpage in the early 90s.
And there's just some teams that year in and year out, it's just a tradition. And that's what you have over at Garden City. I mean, I go back how many years that Garden City football has just been so dominant. You know, I mean, it's just, and it's a tribute to the athletic staff and athletic director Dawn Cerrone and everyone down the line. You know, the programs at Garden City are just tremendous.
Calhoun back to work on offense. Radke a carry straight ahead for a couple. And it's not just the football team, it's everybody. It's lacrosse on both sides. Field hockey is perennially great. Basketball.
Last year, basketball won their first county championship. I mean, they're just a terrific program overall. And what happens is the kids, the faculty, the staff, they buy into the programs.
Angelo Demiris just went off for Garden City, number 78, one of their defensive linemen. It is 2nd and 7 for Calhoun. De Jesus skipping straight ahead, fighting for an extra yard or 3. Close to a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, nothing's going to come easy today for Calhoun. They're going to have to grind out every yard. And I mean, you talk about the hits. You saw that hit that Yeboah Cody just put on him. I mean, this kid is one of those that does it all defensively, offensively, special teams. I'm surprised we don't see him out there kicking.
I'm sure he could, if necessary.
Without a doubt, yeah.
There are multiple FCS programs that want him to come play football for them.
Offered full rides.
But instead, he's going to play lacrosse at Brown, and Calhoun just jumped. Finn Campbell, the left guard. This will be the 4th first-half penalty on the Calhoun offense.
And that's the other thing that makes him so special. All right, we talk about his running ability. We talk about his ability to punt return, his ability to make hits on defense. But we're missing one of the most important pieces. He's going to Brown, so he has terrific academics also. That puts the whole complete package in a student athlete.
Danny Bocafola is going to play lacrosse at Cornell. Joe Scatarigia, number 23, a receiver defensive back, is going to play at Bucknell. So yeah, talented and smart young men up and down this Trojan roster. After the 4th flag on Calhoun, it is now 3rd and 6 instead of 3rd and 1. Those are the mistakes you can't make as Torini wants to throw for the 2nd time. Needs a receiver, down he goes.
Taken down by
Griffith was there.
You almost look at Garden City and you say, how many men on the field do they have? They had 4 defensive backs back there. Linebackers drove back. You had 2 receivers, and yet you had 4 people on the pass rush. So just terrific defense there.
I mentioned Griffith. It was Haas that got there first. He gets the sack. It looked like Torini had a receiver open running a post route middle of the field, but didn't pull the trigger when he could have. And eventually leads to the sack and the 3 and out. And the 3rd punt for Daly, again, trying to pin Yeboah Cody to the sideline. He gets away from that sideline, back to the middle of the field. And down he will go. Did a lot of running, didn't get much yardage, and a flag comes in near midfield. A little farther away from that tackle. Michael Rossi, number 8 for Calhoun, was locked with one of the Trojans and put him down the turf with a little extra oomph behind it, and I think that's going to get a flag here at the end of all of that.
Yeah, it's funny. I was on the sideline when we first got here, and I said, describe Yeboah Cody in one word. One word, give me a description. And he said, finesse. And right there on that punt return, you saw exactly why.
So the flag is on Garden City, not on Rossi. And this will back the Trojans up inside their own 30-yard line.
You look at that. Yep, there it is. Oh, he just body slammed him.
Yeah, 8 and 51 were tangled. There goes the flag. And it goes against Garden City. Harry Murphy wears number 51 for Garden City. The Trojans have had the ball twice and scored twice in a total of 5 plays. 1 play, 86-yard run for Trevor Yeboah Cody the last time. Empty backfield the moment. Yeboah Cody in motion. Hart keeps. Floating over the middle. Capolla's wide open. He's got a block into the open field, and he's gone. 2nd straight 1-play scoring drive, and Garden City's in control.
Well, when you give a quarterback enough time, he's going to make a good pass, and that's exactly what happened here. Colin Hart just puts the ball right on the money. Coppola holds it in, and then, wait, did you see that great block? That I always love when you see good blocks, and then off to the races.
3 drives, 6 plays, 3 touchdowns. And Gardy makes it 21-7. Well, we knew that this Garden City offense could score in a hurry, but this is ridiculous. An 86-yard run from Trevor Yeboah Cody, and then this, just 73 yards through the air to Coppola, and a 2-score lead for the unbeaten Trojans.
8 minutes, 57 seconds remain in the first half.
It was 7-0 Calhoun a long time ago. The Colts went right down the field and scored to start this Nassau Conference 2 semifinal, but have yet to stop the Garden City offense. Matt Marziliano, in opening for a moment, dragged down across the 30, and another flag comes in. There was one early in the return, and the second one might be for the way Marziliano was tackled. Bob Miller's crew has been very busy since late in the first quarter until now, and they've got some things to sort out right now.
Well, they try to keep the game in control. That's one thing about the Nassau County officiating crews. They've been outstanding, and we've seen so many games this year, and very, very impressed with the communication on how they call games. And nice turnout there from the Calhoun faithful.
And they were really pumped up to get right in the end zone and lead 7-0. Both of the calls were on. One was a chop block. One was holding on Calhoun.
These are called against Calhoun.
They were both against the Colts. The second one gets enforced.
They could just ill afford losing yards like that. And, you take them from decent field position to now inside the 15.
A comparison as this Calhoun drive begins. The Colts have had the ball for 13 minutes and 9 seconds. They have ran 20 plays and scored 7 points. Garden City's had it for 209, run 6 plays, and scored 21. New quarterback, it's Christopher Adami for Calhoun, pitching to Ariel DeJesus, swarmed and brought down. Now, we've seen more than once Nicholas Turini, the starting quarterback for Calhoun, limping to and from the huddle. He's on the sideline, helmet off, and Adami is in at least to start this drive.
Well, Garden City is playing the veer really tough. They're not allowing, once that pitch is given, right away, you're going to have maroon jerseys in your face.
Turini's across the field at the 25-yard line. There he is, clearly dejected. It looked like his right leg was the problem. It was Casamano, the running back, coming in, who was the main injury concern. Limited last week against Mepham in the first round. They survived that because Turini and DeJesus were so good. But Casamano now has been banged up again today. Haven't seen him in a while. That's Radke in for him, and now Turini is off the field as well. There's Casamano, at least helmet on, but not in the game.
And he's a big runner, too. He had that big first drive. He's a guy you got to have back in the game as soon as possible.
A 68-yard run down the far sideline to get Calhoun inside the Garden City 5. Then he scored the touchdown 3 plays later. Arguably the last good thing that's happened to Calhoun in this game. Now confusion on the handoff. Adami heaving it down the field. Marziliano almost brought that down.
But that play, they might not have completed the pass. But what did you notice about that pass? He threw that ball on a dime. I mean, look at this. You look at the footwork. He's able to plant. You didn't see that in the first half, but the first quarter. But he's able to throw the ball downfield, and you have to be able to do that in order to set up that lethal run game you have.
And now Marziliano, selling out to make the catch, has a left shoulder issue as he goes to his sideline, and Calhoun has to punt it away again. Nothing going the Colts' way right now. High snap, Daly gets it and just gets it away. Yeboah Cody, fair catch from his knees, already in Calhoun territory. Garden City has taken complete control of this one after spotting Calhoun a quick 7 points. The Trojans are 9-0, looking for their 3rd straight county title, their 3rd straight perfect season. And so far, so good here in this semifinal. Carey and MacArthur play in the other. The 2 winners reconvening next week here at Hofstra. The Trojans this year under Dave Ettinger, coming off consecutive 12-0 seasons, winning Nassau and Long Island. They score almost 38 points per game. They give up just over 6, and they have, like they did today, started well all year long. Just for a comparison, Calhoun doesn't score 25 points per game on average over 4 quarters. Garden City does it by halftime. It's 230-21 raw in the first half. As Jabbar Cody again, still on his feet. He's going to score. There is a flag behind this, we'll see. But it might be the 3rd straight one-play touchdown drive for Garden City.
I don't think I've seen anyone better this year.
It is a hold. It is on Garden City, and it's the one thing that's going to slow him down right now.
Well, once again, he's got the lead blockers in front. What? See how he used his left hand to help guide the blockers? And then look at this, everything. North-south with a little adjustment.
The penalty will take him back across midfield. 1st and 19 coming up for Garden City. 3 behind Colin Hart, who's thrown 2 passes today. They've both been touchdowns. He fakes the pitch, gives it to Coppola. Ran into a teammate, and then Errol DeJesus slams him down. Coppola caught the long touchdown pass on their last quote-unquote drive, the first play of that series. They lose 2 on the run, so going backwards for a 2nd straight play. 2nd and 21 now for the Trojans. Jabbar Cody lining up bottom of your screen as a wide receiver here on 2nd and long.
We haven't seen him catch a ball yet.
Val Pagano's out in coverage for Calhoun. Coppola to the outside. Jabbar Cody blocking. Coppola back across midfield, guided, and then some, out of bounds by number 20 for Calhoun, Pagano.
They had Trevor Jabbar Cody lining up man coverage against Dylan Radke. I thought that was going to be a foot race to the end zone.
It's 3rd and 9 for Garden City.
Calhoun 44. Trojans take a look at 3rd and 9.
Garden City offense looking to the sideline. There are 2 coaches you see at the very bottom of your screen signaling in the plays. One for real, one with dummy calls. Scatteregia is the motion man. Hart looking that way, deflected. Well done there defensively by Eric Porfido. Porfido, obviously, if he could have made a catch on that play, he would have had an easy 6.
Oh, without a doubt. Good job there and out of his hands.
Porfido made a huge play behind the line of scrimmage in round 1. A tackle for loss that pushed Mepham back. They missed that field goal. They missed one in overtime as well. And then Calhoun hit one to win 24-21. It's 4th and 9 for Garden City. Is this a play or a pooch? It'll be a kick high up in the air from the QB Hart and downed near the 20-yard line. So Calhoun's defense at least gets off the field unscathed here, Scott, and maybe can try and get a little bit momentum back here. It's been a struggle, obviously, but it's only a 2-score game with 2.5 quarters left.
Well, you know, it's going to be very tough. They need to get guys like Torini and Casamano back on the field. And, you know, without those guys, it makes things really difficult. I mean, your back is against the wall as it is. You're trailing 21-7. But, you know, this is what has to happen. I mean, now it's a chance for some of your subs to really show what they got and start getting these guys prepared. But, you know, we saw the arm on Adami before. You know, this is a very good backup quarterback.
He is in, the junior, for Torini. Casamano is back in the game. That's him coming in motion right now. They run the sweep. Not much room near sideline for Casamano. Christian Sullivan's been busy. Another tackle for him from that Garden City front.
Casamano's playing on all heart right now. I mean, you could tell he's in pain and trying to give everything he's got for his ball club. You know, that's one of the things that Brian Moeller said. He is the heart and soul of this team, and you see it right there.
Just 4 carries last week before calling it quits against Mepham. Big impact here early, gutting it out. Yeboah Cody couldn't bring DeJesus down. Calhoun wants a call there. Another tackle up high around the neck, bringing down a Colt ball carrier, but there's no flag on this.
Well, they run the little veer off the shotgun. He's able to break some tackles, and that's one of the things that he's been able to do all year is make people miss. But this Garden City team, they get to the edge quick, and they take that sideline away.
3rd and 4, Calhoun in desperate need of a first down. They have done little on offense thanks to these injuries since scoring on their opening possession. Adami, the replacement QB, is back under center. But first, a timeout. 3rd and final timeout called by Calhoun here before halftime.
4 minutes remain in the
Now, this is one of the things that Brian Moeller talked to us about this week with Nick Tarini, who is really just in sync with this offense now. They've given him more reign to change plays because he was seeing things at the line before his coaches were seeing them from the sideline. I would assume that Adami, as the backup, doesn't have that same control at the moment. Calhoun peaking in the right direction. 3rd straight trip to the postseason. 4 times in 5 years, Scott. Getting to the semis last year, the first playoff win in program history. So a win today would have meant the first county final appearance in program history. To get there, they're gonna have to rally with some of their secondary names.
Well, you know, a lot of the coaches in the area too really have a high regard for Brian Moeller, and that's so important. It's such a tight-knit community network of football coaches here in Nassau County, and you know, he's done just a terrific job turning that program, you know, into a contender every year. And you know, once you get that program going, you know, the younger kids begin to buy in. The JV numbers start to improve. You know, when the JV numbers start to improve, a lot of those kids develop into good varsity players.
Brian Moeller himself has gone up the ladder, began with the program as a JV assistant, then JV head coach, and now in charge of the varsity. He's a Clark alum. Adami fumbled the snap on 3rd down. He's got it back, but that's it. The junior QB, the backup, pressed into duty, shaking his head as he goes off. His team needed something to feel good about itself, keep the chains moving, stay on the field, but they botched a snap on 3rd down, and they've got to punt again.
Yard line.
We'll see where Daly angles this one with Yeboah Cody and Coppola back. It's towards Coppola, and it's over the sideline on a couple of bounces. Colin Hart and this Garden City offense has been locked in, as has been their custom all year long. They don't waste their time out there. They score quick, they score efficiently. Their 3 touchdowns today came on their first 6 plays from scrimmage to take control of this one.
Halftime and halftime entertainment.
This is a team that really hasn't been tested all year long. They've pretty much beaten up on every team. You know, maybe they've gotten a slow start in a few games. You know, I know Carey and Calhoun both played them very tight, 14-7 second quarters.
In fact, the Carey game was only 17-14 in the 3rd. The closest anybody's been at the finish line was Elmont. That was a 28-7 game. But they've just been so good out of the gate, Scott. They've almost eliminated doubt in most games by halftime. It's Coppola sprinting across midfield.
42, Justin Coppola.
He has caught a pass for a touchdown, a couple of big runs for number 22. Another one of those lacrosse football doubles for Garden City.
And he's such a steady player. He's got 10 touchdowns on the year, 4 receiving and 6 rushing. You know, 268 yards receiving and 315 rushing. So such a well-balanced player. And you know, the coaching staff loves his physicality and how strong he is, and he uses it well.
Yeboah Cody behind center. Coppola motions across on 1st and 10 across midfield. Yeboah Cody running into space, running across the 30, and there he goes again.
Snap to Trevor Yeboah Cody. Touchdown, Garden City.
Well, we knew he was good. He's been good for a long time. This is peak efficiency from number 24 and his Trojan offense.
Yeah, there's just something about making things look easy, and that's exactly what he does. He just makes it look easy.
27 unanswered points for Garden City pending Chase Gardy's PAT. Four for four is the junior kicker. Now 46 for 51 on the year. Yeboah Cody again from distance. He's done this a lot this year, twice today. 17 touchdowns on the ground now for number 24. The Trojans on their way to 10-0 on Verizon Fios One Sports.
Garden City scores on a 48-yard touchdown.
My goodness, this Garden City offense has found a new level in the Nassau 2 semifinals. Trevor Yeboah Cody, 5 carries, 166 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first half. 33 yards a tote.
Well, he would have been over 200 yards if he didn't call back that penalty on him.
Here's the last touchdown run. This one only 45. His first one was 86. He takes the direct snap, and the one time he's contested here, Scott, he goes right through contact.
You know, he reminds me of a video game. You know, he's just running straight. You move the little joystick left, right, and there he goes. He kind of has like the little Barry Sanders running. I mean, just a terrific job.
Well, it almost looks at times like he's a ringer, right? Like he's snuck into a game he doesn't belong in, like he's too good for it. He's just darting through everybody else, and it's just been a remarkable season and a remarkable career. 3rd year on varsity, 2nd year as a starter. Last year, 1st team All-State, 1st team All-Long Island, a finalist for the Thorpe Award, and by the way, All-County lacrosse as well, and that's what he's going to play on the next level at Brown, even though he had multiple offers from FCS programs. There were some D1 schools, FBS schools, wondering exactly what he was on their level. Must be nice to be that good at one thing, and he's good at lacrosse and football almost equally.
Yeah, it's and have the intelligence in the classroom. You know, he has just been fantastic. You know, he's lived up to top billing. Everyone talks about how he may be one of the best players to ever put on a Trojan uniform, and here's why. His speed, his agility, his upfield running. He's so quick. He knows how to use blockers. He can just great job throwing the ball. Capola catching the ball out in traffic, finishing strong. You got to love Colin Hart. Give him some credit. He's been throwing the football well. And then Yeboah Cody, once again, just making tacklers miss. Terrific offensive output for the Trojans here in the first half.
The Garden City 4 scoring drives have lasted 4 plays, 1 play, 1 play, and 3 plays. And this is what they are continuing here tonight. 33 consecutive wins, back-to-back perfect seasons, back-to-back Long Island championships. And they have just blown the doors off most people this year, which, you know this, you played college basketball, you coached basketball, you may be good, you may have the advantage, you may be the better team. It doesn't mean that actually translates onto the field or the court, but they make it happen. They make the plays that put the other guy away and send them off and running.
Well, you know, they know how to deliver a knockout punch, and they deliver it early, and that's what a lot of teams struggle to do. They get a good start, but they're sprinters, but they don't run cross country. This Garden City team can run the 55 and then beat you in the 4x400.
It's 2nd and 12 for Calhoun, and this offense is just out of whack. Their senior quarterback's on the sideline with an injured. Their running back is banged up as well. They're trying to find something. A flag on Garden City is certainly helpful.
Offside is the call against Garden City.
Well, that
brings Calhoun out to the 20.
You talk about getting the advantage, getting the edge on everybody else.
Bacafola thought he had the snap count read there. Adami over the middle. Yeboah Cody, a one-hand interception. Needham blocks. He's got it down the sideline and finally out of bounds.
The interception by number 24, Trevor Yeboah Cody.
He can do it all, And he's done it all here before halftime.
You know, and it doesn't even look like he's running all out full speed. He's just almost looks like he's taking a little jog through the park. But watch this catch. This is pure athleticism. He puts his one hand out and just holds it in. He didn't even catch it one. He just gripped it off the corner of the football. And then watch him use his blockers. He uses them like he does when he comes out of the backfield. Nice block by Capola and able to get down the sideline. Ooh, got away with one there.
There is a flag, though, middle of the field being sorted out right now. But you're right, the patience with which he runs on top of the elite speed. He sees it. He's watching things develop. He's getting his blockers. He's waiting for that to develop. And it usually leads him down the field into the end zone. Not so on this pick. But we told you, and his coach said, obviously running back is the headline, but he's tremendous in the secondary as well because of plays like that. Not the one-hand catch. It's just the read. He's fading back as the safety, sees it coming, makes the play.
Word has it he has 3 helmets in his locker room because he doesn't have enough stars to put on the one helmet.
Looks like we have offsetting personal fouls during that return, so no yardage change after all of that. It's just Garden City back to work on offense, already in complete control with plenty of time to add to the score right now. Carey and MacArthur are waiting in the other semifinal. They don't need a reminder of how good Garden City is, but they're getting one in this first half of what appears to be waiting for one of them in the county final next week. Well, Bob Miller's crew took a few minutes to figure things out here, and even after announcing offsetting penalties, which shouldn't have changed where the ball was, they have marched the ball back to the Calhoun 42-yard line. For some reason, this is where the Trojans begin after Yeboah Cody's interception in the middle of the field. Colin Hart has this himself. A block from Capola to turn the corner. And then one last shove from Val Pagano on the Garden City QB.
Colin Hart.
That's one thing I love about this Garden City team is when they execute an offense, every person gets involved in the blocking action. Nobody's missing a blocking assignment. Everything is timely. I'm not quite sure if this was the set play for Colin Hart, but you know what? You make something out of nothing, and that's exactly what he did.
Colin Hart's having a great senior campaign. Was in a 50-50 job split as a sophomore, has been the #1 starter the last 2 years. Teams sell out to defend the run, and he has systematically gotten better, picking them apart through the air. Came into this one 75% completion rate, 11 touchdowns. He's thrown 2 passes, and they both ended in the end zone. There is another call being worked out here. This game has just ground to a halt since late first quarter. A lot of flags and a lot of conferences after each one, and now we're just going to play again. Brian Moeller is as confused as us on the far sideline. You can see him there, top of your screen, on the 50, headset off, yelling at Bob Miller, who's now going to stop play and go over there. Now, this would be, Scott, where a basketball coach might get teed up to give his team some kind of spark, to take some kind of heat off his struggling unit. There's not necessarily the same line of thinking here. This is just straight frustration from Coach Moeller because nothing has gone his way since his team got in the end zone to start the game.
You know, and I mean, this is just a point where it's not helping the team. You know, when you slow the game down like this, you don't have an opportunity to try to get into any rhythm.
Brian Moeller has given up the fight on the far sideline with Bob Miller, so we're back to football. Clock running again, slowly inching towards halftime here at Hofstra. Colin Hart rolling right, throwing right, and wide open. Did he make the catch? He did. I thought that he might have dropped it, but it is a catch far sideline. Sliding catch by James Cashwell.
And I'll tell you, we've seen Colin Hart roll out, throw off balance on several times, and he's able to get that ball across his body. And nice catch there, keeping in bounds, Cashwell.
Cashwell, one of the big contributors on that county championship basketball team from a year ago. Now under a minute left in the opening half. Hart pulls it away from Yeboah Cody and just spikes it far sideline with no one to throw to.
The first down pass by Colin Hart at 10 court 88. Coverage by number 8, Michael Rossi.
And now we have another stoppage This again is a clock issue, I believe. That official is the one keeping, in the black hat, is the one keeping the official time on the field, and he noticed something after that last play.
Yeah, I think that the clock ran down another 7-8 seconds. I'm not sure if they're going to tack it back on or...
Alongside Scott Green, I'm Andrew Bogusch. Nassau 2 semifinal here at Hofstra University. Another season in Nassau County winding down here on the campus of Hofstra University. Garden City trying to win Nassau for the third straight year here in Conference 2. They have not lost since November of 2015 on this field to Wantagh. 33 consecutive wins, the longest win streak in Nassau history. And they are certainly on their way to number 34 right now. 4 consecutive touchdowns, taking only 4, 1, 1, and 3 plays to get those scores. And now finally the clock is reset to 46 seconds. Hart with Yeboah Cody switching sides before the snap. On 2nd and 10, Hart throwing, escaping, getting it away, incomplete. Scatterigio was there, and I think made the smart decision to just not even try for that one. The incompletion, less harmful than a catch and a tackle there behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd down coming up.
Well, that's how athletic Colin Hart is. He didn't take it for a loss. He's able to get himself free and, you know, able to throw the ball in the vicinity of a burgundy jersey. And, you know, that's just a tribute to what he's done as a quarterback.
At least in time elapsed, this is the longest Garden City's offense has been on the field in this first half. They'll pitch it to Yeboah Cody. Blockers in front. Good pursuit by the Calhoun defense. Pagano, the last one to get to number 24. And now Garden City uses a timeout. Their first, 33 seconds left. This is just about in Chase Gardy's range. It would be roughly 42 yards.
Garden City calls timeout.
There is not much of a wind at the moment, at least judging the flags on top of the goalposts in either end zone right now.
10 a.m. at Mitchell Athletic Complex. The date is November 22nd.
It is 4th and 4 for Garden City. They will not try a long field goal. They'll at least snap it to their quarterback, Colin Hart. Yeboah Cody is the wide receiver, bottom of your screen. Hart rolling and throwing on 4th down. And they've got a 1st down with Bocafola.
On 4th and 4, Colin Hart hits 31.
Refusing to go down, finally does. And now there's 21 seconds left in the quarter. A Garden City timeout again.
Al Pagano, first contact for Calhoun.
Just a nice job getting the ball out to Bocafola again. And, you know, fighting hard. That's how strong a lot of these kids are. They're not even going down. But that's a great play call on 4th down. They went down almost to almost like a prevent type defense, and that left the sideline right open.
Bocafola caught the first touchdown pass, the first of 2 for Colin Hart. That Calhoun student section was bouncing out of the gate here at Hofstra, with the Colts going right down the field. Tom Casamano, a long run, 68 yards, setting up 1st and goal. He scored 3 plays later, but it has been all Garden City since, and Calhoun has had Casamano off the field at times with an injury. Torina, their quarterback, is gone. It looks for good. Yeboah Cody's gone again. A catch, a turn, and then the sprint for 6.
Garden City.
Well, we said, you know, we haven't seen him catch a touchdown yet. We saw him on the nice catch on an interception, but this time catches the ball out on the flat, and it's just, you're not going to catch him or beat him to the sideline.
He had a game this year against Belmore JFK where he scored 5 times in the first half, on his way to 256 rushing yards. He's in the neighborhood of that right now, and he's doing it in the conference semifinals.
Right between by 18.
Guardia good again on the PAT. It's 35-7 Garden City. Relentless is this Trojan attack led by Yeboah Cody.
Well, once again, Hart continues to improve his stats as well. Another touchdown. And when you got weapons around you, it makes you look really good.
Chase Gardy will kick off for Garden City with 13 seconds left in this opening half. His Trojans in complete control. Daly dropped it, picked it up, and then got dropped by 2 Trojans. And Calhoun's offense comes back out for presumably, well, just one more snap here in this opening half, which started so well for them and has gone south in a hurry since then. Another first half knockout punch from Garden City. They came into this game outscoring teams 230-21 in the first 24 minutes. And you can see the score right now. I believe they've had the ball 6 times and scored 5 touchdowns. It has been clinical, led by Yeboah Cody and their senior quarterback, Colin Hart. There's the snap, there's the knee, and there is halftime here at Stewart Stadium. Garden City came in at 9-0 in search of their 3rd straight county title and their 34th straight win overall. And they are halfway to their 34th straight win and another appearance in Nassau County's championship game. It started well for Calhoun. It's been all Trojans since, led by Trevor Yeboah Cody on Verizon Fios One Sports. And welcome back to Stewart Stadium here at Hofstra University. Andrew Bogish, Scott Green, our entire Verizon Fios One Sports crew with you for the start of the second half of this Nassau 2 semifinal. Garden City in control as the third quarter begins. Justin Coppola on the return, coming straight ahead, still on his feet. Too cold, a heavy collision behind him. They are just now getting up and okay, thankfully. So a Trojan offense that was dominant in the first half will take the field here in just a second, and we'll see how they handle this. They are in complete control. This has happened often for them this year, so we'll see what personnel they put out there as we take a quick look at our first half highlights. It started well, Scott, for Calhoun. They got in the end zone, 7-0, all Trojans after that.
Well, they've been able to just do it on the ground, in the arm. I mean, Yeboah Cody just terrific. He's able to outrun the entire Calhoun team. You know, and then passing. The run sets up the pass play, and this time you get it out to Coppola. Coppola is able to get past the secondary and into the end zone, and then you go back to the running game again, and Yeboah Cody once again able to make defenders miss. Just a dominating first half for Garden City.
And the Trojans begin this third quarter with a number of substitutes on the field, including at quarterback, Gavin Paskowitz, number 11, has taken over. That last carry from Michael DeLuca, sophomore, number 35. So Colin Hart, Trevor Yeboah Cody and company may be done for this semifinal after a very impressive opening half. They were barely on the field. The longest they were out there, Scott, was that one drive that had multiple long, discussed penalties that really just kept everybody standing around between plays. Other than that, the Trojans just on and off the field in the end zone quickly.
Yeah, I mean, and they're just continuing to mix it up. It is a nice bright spot for Calhoun. This is what they were able to do all year long, get into the backfield and make big plays. And, you know, they haven't seen a lot of them today from the Colts, but all season long, one of the reasons why they're playing in this game today was because of their defensive line, and they've been very dominant on the defensive end.
Ariel DeJesus, number 2, one of the best linebackers in Nassau County, still out there directing traffic for this Colts defense. This is now about small battles, winning small sections of this game, trying to get back in on the offensive end. Calhoun led 7-0, gave up a quick evening score from Garden City as a flag comes in during that last play. And then don't forget, Scott, that they had that muffed punt by Coppola, recovered in Garden City territory, a chance to at least take some momentum back from 7-all. That didn't happen, and then the roll really started for the Trojans.
Yeah, you know, just some of the penalties have just been big. I mean, didn't affect Garden City too much, but we also had that lapse, and that takes away the rhythm, you know, of the game too.
Brian Moeller again telling our referee Bob Miller his disagreement with the penalty call. It's a personal foul against Calhoun. And it moves Garden City up to their own 49-yard line. The personal foul, though, not enough for a first down. So it is 4th and 1 for Garden City. And they change their personnel and huddle back up again with Gavin Paskowitz now running the show on offense. A delay of game called against Garden City. It'll back them up 5 more yards, and they'll send the punting unit out. Colin Hart's down right below us. Still has his helmet on, number 14 for Garden City, their starting quarterback. Trevor Yaboa Cody buckled up as well. Maybe we'll see him on defense at the very least here to start the second half. But now it's almost about preservation mode. Garden City has at least 1 more game left. They hope 2. And they got to make sure their horses are good to go for the county title game. The punt will be touchdown, the first punt of the night for Garden City. Ryan Bice downs it. And Calhoun's offense comes out. It started well. Tom Casamano, a 68-yard run, got them in scoring position. They punched it in. He punched it in. 4-7-0. Then the flag started. Then their starting QB, Nick Torini, left injured. Casamano, who came in banged up, has not stayed healthy in this one either. And Chris Adami, their junior backup quarterback, is on the field to open up the second half, looking for something. Now, he's thrown the ball well, and Torini's a senior, so this is invaluable experience for number 18, who might be the starting quarterback next season.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, he could throw the football, and you know, from a team that's 99% run next year, if they can move that to a 75-25% split, you know, that's going to help this team along the way. And there's a lot of good young kids on this Calhoun team.
Second string defense, at least for the most part, appears to be in as well for Garden City. Trojans have called a timeout, and maybe because of that second string defense, there was some confusion. I'm actually counting right now. There was only 10 Trojans on the field, it looks like. Brian Moeller in the middle of that Calhoun huddle. Was a confident head coach. Thought they could run, thought they could be as physical, if not more physical, than Garden City in this one, and hang with the Trojans like they did for a good chunk of their regular season meeting. But after that first initial punch from Calhoun, they just didn't have an answer on defense.
And you know, and he's such a relaxed guy to talk to. You know, we spoke to him before the game, and I asked him, I said, what's the one message you gave to you're giving to your team before they come out of the locker room before kickoff? And he says, just go out and play with your friends. You know, have some fun. You know, enjoy your time here. You know, you worked hard to get here, and play some good football. You know, and there's no rah-rah to him. It's just go out and play.
It's his 5th season, and he has this program where it really hasn't ever gone before. They won their first ever playoff game last year to get to this stage, the semifinals, and now here they are back in the semifinals. They lost to Garden City in this very same spot a year ago. Garden City got him in the first round of the postseason the previous year, so they've seen enough of the Trojans in November. 2nd and 6 on the way for the Colts. Ariel DeJesus is the primary running back now. Haven't seen much of Tom Casamano recently. Adami still has it, and down he goes in the backfield. Pierce Archer, number 30, in on the stop for Garden City.
And just a good job there, getting to the outside, preventing him from making any kind of turn. This defense from Garden City has been flawless this evening.
We'll see Archer at some point, too, running the football. He's kind of the closer, so to speak, gets a bulk of the carries in the second half of games when things have been decided. He's been productive in that role. Although it wasn't him out there for Garden City's first possession of this third quarter. Last minute message for the quarterback Adami before third down for Calhoun. Casamano doesn't take the handoff. Hit from behind. Up in the air it goes. That's an incomplete pass.
Well, you go back to pass, and up come the arms, and take a look. He got hit from behind. That put the ball up in the air. And
That was close
Yeah,
to being a fumble because it
did that arm come forward?
Yeah, it might have been going back when he got hit from behind. Didn't see which Garden City defender got to him. Archer, who we just mentioned, and James Crowley are back to return. Nothing. The snap goes through Daly. He's just got to sit on this. He keeps his feet for the moment. And Daly is finally down. I thought at some point he's got to lay down and make sure there's no Garden City recovery and touchdown, but he tried to do something there and at least gets his defense a little farther away from the goal line, but another misstep from Calhoun.
That ball just a bad snap, and good job coming up with it and trying to make something out of it. But it's just been, after the opening drive for Calhoun, it's just been the story of the rest of the way. We were talking with Matt McLeish before the game. He's the Section 8 football coordinator, and he's the one that puts all this organization into this. And a couple of years ago, they wanted to come up with something different, and there were too many blowouts, 23 games by 40 or more. And we'll watch this play, and then I'll continue with the story.
Garden City going to work for the second time in the second half. Crowley changing direction and finding the end zone. James Crowley adds to the Garden City production.
Now the coaching staff was talking about Crowley and what he can do, and they want to get him some good action. And look at it, a little lanky kid. He's strong. He's quick. Look at him run that football.
The extra point is 18, Chase Gardy.
Chase Gardy perfect so far on these PATs as Crowley gets congratulations. The Trojan sideline out of the gate here in the second half, loving the second string kids making plays like Crowley just did. Gardy makes it 42-7. The Trojans just can't be stopped in complete control against Calhoun. The Trojans have added a touchdown here in the third quarter to lead by 35 as Chase Gardy has it teed up. Matt Marzoliano remains back deep to return for Calhoun. He's got to run up and he watches one of the men in front of him, Rossi, make the catch, and Rossi's down at the 30-yard line. So as Garden City widens its lead here, Scott, to 35 points, they are now in the neighborhood of where they need to make sure they're watching the scoreboard.
Yeah, and as I was starting to mention before, Section 8 football coordinator Matt McLeish and Pat Pizzarelli, Don Volpes, they got together a couple years ago and said, we want to come up with something, a sportsmanship rule. Going back 3 years ago, 23 games were decided by 40 points or more. So they established the 42 rule. And, when you don't win by more than 42 points. And what that's doing, it changes teams' philosophy, how often they sub. And if they do, there's a whole process in place. And there's a nice run up the middle for a first down. But you fill out paperwork. You have to give an explanation as to why the score was bigger than 42 points. There'll be hearings and meetings following that. You have to include in there the time of substitution. So I asked Matt McLeish, I said, well, how do you measure it? How's it been working out? And he said, well, 3 years ago, 23 games were decided by over 40 points. Last year, they cut it down to 5 games that were decided by 40 points or more. This year, 1 game was decided by 40 or more points. So, they got a lot of national recognition for this. Some people internationally have commented on this program, and every state does their own thing. I know the state of New Jersey will run it when you're up over 35 points in the second, and they'll run the clock. Here it's creating coaches to have to get their subs in much quicker, and and maybe play calling is a big difference. So I think it was a great rule. And, commends to, Section 8 football and Pat Pizzarelli, Don Volpes, and Matt McLeish did a great job, putting respect and sportsmanship into Nassau County football.
And there is also, there's a lot of leeway, too, to keep playing. I mean, the basic thing is to kind of use this game as an example. Nassau County's fine with James Crowley scoring touchdowns. In the second half, as a backup, They don't need to take knees and stop trying, but they don't need Trevor Yeboah-Cody scoring touchdowns 5 and 6 today.
Well, you know, and it gives teams an opportunity to work on things that when they do get in tight games and they need to run some clock, you know, and burn some time, they can work on some set plays. And, you know, it has been a problem for years, and not just in football. You see lopsided scores in a lot of different sports. But, you know, football, it's tough. I mean, because think about it. How do you tell a young man who doesn't start, who's trying to earn playing time, to when they come into the game, all right, don't go for a touchdown? You know, that this rule at least allows a sub to come in, and you know, if the other team decides they don't want to pull their subs, then it's, you know, second string versus second string.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, there are things you can do in football with play calling, as you said, but it's not to the same extent as, say, soccer or basketball, where you can really kind of call off the dogs and just take as much time off the clock as possible and not go anywhere near kind of an offensive threat. You've got to play football at full steam ahead for the most part, because when you get in the situation where, you know, you're not trying things and not doing this, that's when kids can get hurt or feelings can get hurt. You don't need anybody being angry because of the scoreboard and something shippy happening that hangs over for weeks in the future. So, you know, there's pros and cons to everything. I think this is, you know, a fair setup where they ask you to be respectful, but they also don't ask you to stop playing your game, because, like you said, there are kids in this Garden City sideline, or on the flip side for Calhoun, that are dying to be on the field, and they finally get out there, and they should be able to do their thing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Calhoun putting together a little drive here.
DeJesus and Casamano out there running the football. Casamano, who's been on and off the field battling some injuries for the second straight week. A couple of good runs to get him deeper into Garden City territory. Second down coming up here for these Colts. It is 2nd and 8 officially. Calhoun continues to play with their junior backup quarterback, Chris Adami, into the game. Nick Torini, we think maybe on the very first play of the game, hurt his right leg. Casamano gets driven down. He's been unhappy on this drive. That's the second time he's gotten up, barking at the official Bob Miller about the way he was tackled. DeJesus stopped him the previous time. Now they're guiding him to the sideline, and now a flag is thrown by Bob Miller.
Yeah, you don't want to get into this at this juncture of the game. And Casamano, tough kid.
Unsportsmanlike the call against the senior running back. So much frustration for him, not at 100% at the most important time of the year. He sees the scoreboard. He knows his high school career has just 1+ quarter left in it. Bob Miller's talking to his head coach, one of the assistants, meanwhile trying to calm Tom down that far sideline. It ends up, after the penalty is marked off, being 3rd and 24. Adami has a good right arm. He has shown it a couple of times since replacing Torini in the second quarter. And this is certainly a chance where he needs to throw it. 3rd and 25 now, officially, for his Colts offense. Carey and MacArthur still to play after this one here at Hofstra. We've seen personnel from both schools kind of wandering around, taking a look. Again, no stranger to Garden City, but always looking for maybe the new edge, the new wrinkle to be prepped for if you get to see him again next week.
Well, you start thinking about next week, and, you know, if Garden City holds on, and, you know, they're going to play the winner of Carey and MacArthur. And what a game last week. I was at the MacArthur-Elmont game, and I mean, it was 0-0 with less than 2 minutes left to go in the game, and MacArthur misses a field goal, and then a blocked punt, run back for a touchdown was the difference in that game. And, you know, to have a game like that, 7-0, it was a tremendous quarterfinal. You know, it could have went either way.
Garden City played its quarterfinal the day before against Valley Stream Central. Nice throw here. Adami to DeJesus, so they convert to 4th down. A little wheel route out of the backfield, and the junior QB shows off some touch.
It's just a nice job. I mean, this is the arm that Adami has. He just throws that ball. Look at that perfect spiral, perfect lead. That is just an amazing pass.
You know, we came on the air talking about how dependent on the run Calhoun was. Even their head coach said it's an adventure when we throw it. That's just not what Nick Torini does. But Chris Adami, who you'd presume would be their starting QB next year, he's a junior. That arm seems to be a weapon. They go back to the ground, back to De Jesus. Inside the 15-yard line now is Calhoun, excuse me. Getting late third quarter here at Stewart Stadium. Calhoun repped well on the far sideline behind their bench in the stands. And they were feeling good when the Colts scored the first points of this game. Looking for more here late in the third. It's Radke skipping his way inside the 10-yard line. So Garden City played Valley Stream Central, I was saying a second ago, on a Friday in rain. Everybody else played on the next day, Saturday. No rain, but that crazy wind really wreaking havoc with all the games, but the most, Elmont and MacArthur, they could just do nothing on offense.
And I watched that game, and when I was watching from the end zone, and MacArthur was kicking a field goal, and this may have been like 22-yard field goal, if that, and the ball was going dead center, upright, and you just watch that ball sail off left and hit the post. So that wind was doing funny things that day.
Radke jumping, skipping through contact, trying to get a first down, and he did. It sets up first and goal for Calhoun. Final minute, third quarter. This is a nice drive by the Colts with their backup QB in charge. Clock runs again. We'll see if they get a snap off here before the quarter concludes. Couple of wide receivers, eyes set behind Adami. De Jesus takes one hit and then another. That'll be the final play of the third quarter. But a good close to this quarter for Calhoun. Trailing, but showing some fight in scoring position. It'll be second and goal from the 2-yard line when we come back for the fourth quarter here at Hofstra in this Nassau 2 semifinal. Garden City keeping it in control. Their second string offense finding the end zone, a 35-point lead. The Garden City cheerleaders, excuse me, Scott, locked in as well here with their football team in control of this Nassau 2 semifinals. We welcome you back to Stewart Stadium with Calhoun in a scoring position. The first play of the quarter is Radke, twirling into the end zone for 6. Dylan Radke gets the job done.
And I love to see teams that are trailing, and then you come right back and you get a score. And the show's no fight. You got all fight there, no giving up. Nice finish.
Extended drive, methodically down the field. One nice throw from Adami, and then a hug from Moeller to one of his seniors who are playing their final game. The extra point from Jonathan Irachi is through to make it 42-14, Garden City. There's Nick Torini, number 7, is back to us. The senior QB knocked out of this game with an injury in the first half. Radke seems emotional after scoring the touchdown.
70 yards.
Getting hugs from everybody.
It's always an emotional time when you're a senior, and it's well, you're gonna hang it up for the last time, and a lot of these kids aren't going to play in college. They're playing other sports, and it's a nice drive Calhoun put together. Radke's 2-yard touchdown run. But you always go back. I remember my last game, and I was very fortunate. My last game ended up in a Long Island championship. Sometimes that. I don't know. Is it harder to make your last game in a title game, or is it just in a regular season in a mediocre 500 season?
Well, I'll just tell you what. I mean, we've been doing this together, you and I, for a long time now, and we love doing it. And there's nothing like the thrill of victory for teenagers.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pure as it gets. But by far, my least favorite thing is the other half of games like this, when seniors are playing their final high school game and you see the emotion and the tears and the hugs. It's the only bad part about these assignments.
And you don't forget it. My daughter was a high school softball player. They went to the Long Island championship, and they lost there, and I still haven't let it down yet.
And she's a sophomore in college.
She's forgotten about it already, but I haven't let it down yet. So what does
she
that
was
tell
good by
you?
the next Tuesday. You're still hanging on. Garden City has played this second half, the entire second half, with backups on offense. A touchdown run, and a nice one at that, from James Crowley, bouncing to the outside, changing direction to get in the end zone. He's number 25, coming back out for this possession as well. Gavin Paskowitz continues to run the offense for Colin Hart. Haven't seen him. Haven't seen Trevor Yeboah-Cody, Justin Coppola. They're actually down below us, off to our right a bit. Helmets still on, but watching their teammates close out what will be Garden City's 34th consecutive win, extending the Nassau County record, which they set last week with their win over Valley Stream Central in the quarterfinals. Breaking the record that Bethpage set over the 93, 94, 95 seasons. Garden City as the 1 seed elected to play this first game, so now they can actually get a decent night's sleep before going back to school tomorrow, and the coaches can sit down and watch Carey play MacArthur and begin the prep work for next week's county final.
I'll tell you what, that's not going to happen. Chances are that they're going to stick around. It's so funny. I went to a Carey game last week. I went to a MacArthur game last week, and all I saw was Garden City players at everything. It's like they just canvassed the pavement, and and that just goes to show you, it starts with the coaching staff. Flatley, Coach Flatley, who's coach here at Garden City, the legend. He was the same way, and it filters down to Edinger and to his whole coaching staff. They are all over Long Island, and they're preparing and planning. And when you do those things, you're going to have a real good team, and that's why teams like Garden City, don't make a lot of mistakes. And it starts from the coaches down.
Coach Flatley was on the field before this game. Steve Fennell is on the Garden City sideline. He's their defensive coordinator. He's also the lacrosse coach and has continued the success of that program in recent years.
They were going to give me the eye black before the game. They were doing online. I got online behind them, and you dared me, Andrew. I was going to go with it.
I wanted you to get just one eye to start a new trend.
I think the Open would have looked really good with eye black on. You think our producer would have been upset about that?
I don't think so. Calhoun has kept some of its prime defensive players on the field here in the second half. They're making some plays. Nice tackle here behind the line of scrimmage, bringing Crowley down.
And that's a nice wrap-up tackle. No more of that throwing your head at, trying to knock them over. Good old-fashioned, wrap your legs around and take them down.
Michael Daly, who's been punting for Calhoun, was the first one to Crowley in the backfield, but the tackle made by Tim Mack, number 52. Just a sophomore, another young player getting a chance here to start sending a message for next year as Calhoun continues to build. A year ago, won the first postseason game in program history, won another one here this year. Gonna come up short for the second straight year in the semis against Garden City, but just getting to this game, a hefty accomplishment by these Colts. They obviously will have some questions to answer thanks to graduation, led by their quarterback, led by Casamano, led by DeJesus, their stud fullback slash linebacker. Brian Moeller still coaching hard in his 5th season. 4 postseason appearances now in those 5 years. There's Steve Fennell, the lacrosse coach and assistant coach here for Garden City football. There is a lot of crossover between those two programs across these rosters. And we've already discussed Trevor Yeboah-Cody, who is the best football player I've seen in person on Long Island this year. And he's not even going to play football at the next level. Certainly could play FCS, Patriot League, Ivy League, showing a lot of interest in him. Some schools asking very nicely to him for him to come play football, but he loves lacrosse, he loves Brown, and he's going to go there and play lacrosse at the next level.
And that's really good lacrosse over there at Brown, too.
And he's a similar lacrosse player in that he is supremely athletic, usually more athletic than everybody else around him. And when he picks his spot, when he goes and he can score. And he's got one more lacrosse season in him too, don't forget. All-county player a year ago, all-state with football. This is a timeout. And we'll step aside, we'll take it with him. Garden City on its way back to the county title game one more time here in Nassau County. Trevor Yeboah Cody, helmet on, ready if necessary, but he's not going back into this game. A marvelous first half, which included a one-handed interception, which he almost brought back for points, settling instead for multiple rushing touchdowns, 86 and 48 on the ground. He caught a touchdown pass, a simple pass in the flat, made one little move, went to a second level speed-wise and got into the end zone. Calhoun cycling in more secondary offensive players here, giving everybody a chance to see the field at the end of the season. Garden City better on that play defensively.
Run down by 56, Lucas Feingold.
Lucas Feingold makes the tackle.
Loss of 6, third down, 15.
Quick pursuit. How fast did Feingold get into the backfield?
Nathaniel Bastian had the carry for Calhoun.
And this becomes like almost like a tryout for the summer. You know, when Garden City opens up tryouts, they're going to look back and say, oh, how did these kids do in this type of time in a champion, in a semifinal game? How good did they do here? And these kids are trying to earn their respect.
Chris Adami, the junior backup quarterback, he came in before this game was completely out of doubt for an injured Nick Torini. He has thrown the ball well, going deep here, middle of the field. Had a teammate, that was him right there, Liam Wally, who turned the wrong way at the end of the route. So the pass drops incomplete. It's fourth down. Calhoun's going to punt. Garden City was waiting to see what the Colts would do here. I mean, there's really no reason not to run another offensive play, but they'll punt it, and the Trojans can run their punt return unit out there. Crowley, who we've seen a lot of running the football, is back there alongside Pierce Archer. Good snap this time for Calhoun. Good hang time. And then a good bounce as well for the Colts. They'll down this one inside the 20. And the Trojans offense will come back onto the field.
This will be a big drive for the Colts. If they can get down and try to put another one on the board.
They got in the end zone there last time, a long drive that ended the third quarter. They scored early in the fourth to tighten up the score here just a little bit. Paskowitz remains the quarterback for Garden City. Garden City's been in this position multiple times this year, taking things to the finish line with a nice cushion, running on first down. Michael DeLuca that carry, and he's across the 20-yard line. Going back to the first half here for just a second, still kind of astounding how clinical Garden City was in taking over this game. 4 plays to get into the end zone the first time, to tie the game at 7. Then back-to-back touchdowns on the opening play of a drive, an 86-yard run on the final play of the first quarter by Trevor Yeboah Cody. And then Justin Coppola, a 73-yard catch and run. And then Yeboah Cody scored again on the ground, caught a touchdown pass. We hit halftime 35-7. And here we are now, another flag called, or thrown, I should say. Bob Miller's crew has been busy today, especially in the first half. At times, they have taken their time sorting things out, often to the chagrin of Calhoun head coach Brian Mueller, who does not like this situation either.
Well, you can't say they don't discuss things, you know. They'll get together and try to put it together. Overall, you know what? They've done a nice job here, as all the Nassau County officials have done all season long.
And this is a crew that's worked together all year long. They've earned this assignment. Personal foul called against Calhoun. Some frustration fouls committed by the Colts here in the second half. Casamano, their leading running back, had an unsportsmanlike conduct flag for arguing with Bob Miller, the referee, earlier in this half. Crowley, who has a touchdown here in the second half, runs into one of his O-linemen and then gets tackled in the backfield. Tobias Harrington credited. That's here, number 62. He gets the tackle for Calhoun.
2nd and 13.
2nd and 13 coming up here for Garden City. I just looked to my right, Scott, and the TV in the press box is on one of the local weather reports.
Tomorrow's looking really pretty.
And there's football here in Hofstra tomorrow as well. Another batch of semifinals, another doubleheader. And that might be an interesting day of broadcasting for us. You and I will be safely not here, but our crew will be out in the elements tomorrow, and that really might not be fun, because I believe the heaviest of rain is right in this kind of late afternoon, early evening window, which would be right in the middle of our action. And I know that that's part of the deal with an outdoor sport, and it's unavoidable. But man, do I get annoyed when games like this, when Mother Nature's a factor. Now, some people like that stuff. To me, games should be as close to sterile as possible so the players can decide it. But we're coming off a weekend where 3 of the quarterfinals here in Conference 2 were kind of stymied by heavy wind. And now tomorrow here at Hofstra might be in a deluge.
Always makes things interesting. But you know what? That's what November football is. You know, I think this is just a great run.
But you know me, I'm not tough. November football seems like a lot to ask of me.
Well, I'll tell you, this kid's tough right here. He's been getting it done since he's come into the game.
James Crowley, has scored a touchdown, running hard there. Garden City band sneaking in a song here in between plays as the clock continues to run down. Under 4 minutes now left at Sheward Stadium. The Nassau football season always ends here as Crowley breaks free again. Yanked down the Calhoun 30-yard line.
Well, the one thing that's been so effective for Garden City is their blocking. These guys have been used, the runners have been having the fortunate opportunity, big holes. Blockers are able to get ahead, create some space. You know, whether it's a 0-0 game or 42-14, the team just never stops the motor.
30-yard line.
First and 10 for Garden City now at the Calhoun 30-yard line. They meet Crowley in the backfield and slam him down.
Crowley's had his work this quarter, huh?
Nico Genova, makes the tackle. Surprised, actually, I haven't seen Pierce Archer running the football. He, at times, has been the running back for these situations, but it's been Crowley today, and he certainly has earned it. Did pay the price on that last carry. 2nd and 12 now for the Garden City offense. DeLuca is in the eye set behind Paskowitz now. And they'll pitch it to him. Looking for the corner. Turns it, and out of bounds he goes. They'll keep the clock going. Final 2 minutes here at Hofstra. Another Garden City win is almost complete. It'll be their 34th in a row after back-to-back 12-0 campaigns. They are about to be 10-0 here in 2018. Another comprehensive victory from these Trojans. Lockdown defense, flexing their muscles on offense. Colin Hart's first 2 passes went for touchdowns. Trevor Yaboa Cody, 2 long runs and a TD catch, continuing his stellar senior season. It's a pitch to Crowley on 3rd down. Stays on his feet, gets the first down inside the 20. And his impressive second half continues.
Such a scrappy runner, too. He get the ball to the outside and, find space. That's what this young man does. Keeps the ball to the left side. He's protecting. Look at him. He's looking for his blockers, protecting, going opposite against the grain.
Listed at 5'7", 135, which means he might be a little shorter and a little lighter, because normally they give you a little bump up on the official chart. But he's running hard. He's running tough for somebody that size. Final minute now here at Stewart Stadium. With that first down, Garden City can just kneel this one out. Trevor Yeboah-Cody has been just a spectator here in the second half because of his magical first. And the Garden City train just keeps on rolling. 42-14 is going to be the final score here at Stewart Stadium. 10-0, 34 straight wins, and another trip to the county title game. Clock is still running, as you can see, but both teams are already lining up for handshakes. Everybody but the 22 on the field, technically, for this next play, ready to end things.
And this was just a nice win for Garden City. They come into the game as a heavy favorite. They went down 7-0 early and then just showed what Garden City football is all about.
And there it is, the final seconds tick away. Trevor Yeboah-Cody led the attack again in the first half, and now he's leading the handshake line for Dave Ettinger's team. 10-0, 34 straight wins, and a chance at their 23rd county championship in a week. But tonight they'll celebrate this one, shaking hands with the Colts, whose tremendous season ends for the second straight year in the semifinal round. We'll wrap it all up when we come back on Verizon Fios One Sports. One last time, welcome back to Stewart Stadium after another impressive Garden City win, another impressive effort from Trevor Yeboah-Cody. 191 scrimmage yards, 3 touchdowns, and now one post-game conversation with Scott Green.
Trevor, down 7-0 to start the game. You guys then make a run and never look back. How pleased with your team's performance today?
In the beginning of the game, it was definitely a wake-up call because we understand from there that they're not just going to hand us the win, and we knew we had to really battle. They're going to be tough and trippy, but we fought back and sealed the deal.
Talk about your performance today. You pretty much did it all, including that one-handed interception. That was pretty impressive, but you caught one, you ran, just a terrific game for you. Why so successful today?
Our coaches really prepare us really, really well. I have to shout them out. I have to shout out my old line. They really stepped up, and my team, I just love these guys. I love them.
You really haven't been tested much this year. How big of a bullseye does that now put on your back going into the county championship next week?
A huge one. We know that these teams waiting for the victor of MacArthur and Carey, and we're going to see, and whoever wins, they're just not going to hand us this victory.
Moving into next week, what does this team need to do to get ready to play another game here?
We need to watch more film and take it one day at a time and don't burn out.
Great game. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Andrew?
Scott, thanks so much. Trevor Yeboah-Cody and Garden City still perfect. 10 up and 10 down. Back in the county title game, looking for their third straight perfect season and their third straight Long Island championship. You could see Carey and MacArthur warming up behind Trevor. One of them has to deal with him in a week. But for tonight, it's another Garden City win and a close to a successful season for the Calhoun Colts. Today's game was produced and directed by Frank LaSquadro. For our entire crew and my partner Scott Green, I'm Andrew Bogish. Thanks for watching Long Island High School football on Verizon Fios One Sports.
This has been a special presentation of Verizon Fios One Sports.